Worrying about looking stupid, worrying about coming across silly, unprofessional, that people are going to talk about you, gossip about you, think that you've lost your mind for changing careers or doing something new, or think that you're narcissistic or all full of yourself. That good old, what will they think? And being worried about it. Listen, instead of worrying about what they will think, worry about the fact that time is something that you can never get back. And then spend that energy on worrying about how you want to spend your limited time here on Earth. Part 2 of Deconstructing Your Biggest Money Fears. If you're tired of hearing the same old basic mindset and motivational fluff talk, you've come to the right show. Welcome to Project Me with Tiffany Carter, the podcast, where we dish on everything from managing that crazy brain of yours to manifesting abundance to my straightforward, actionable steps that will make you major money online. Now, I'm not your typical multimillionaire entrepreneur. It takes a small village to keep my anxiety and depression in check. I'm inherently disorganized with an intense obsession with office supplies. Your girl here is a digital marketing content expert who's generated over $200 million in sales. I promise by tuning in twice a week, you will get a much needed refreshing dose of truth, clarity, and cash making advice. Now let's get to it. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, and as promised, big announcement. My famous 3 Days to Make Bank in Your Business free live training series is back. This is something I only do one time a year. You spend 3 days with me and you are going to move the needle in your business and in your bank account. This will not be offered again until next year. This is live, so you're going to want to grab your spot and share it with anyone who comes to mind. This is where we are going to get absolutely clear on how you can stand out online and have people think of you first and be the authority in your space. How to create content that sells for you so you don't have to, and how to handle those dreaded objections from people. I need to talk to my husband. I can't afford it. Now's not a good time. We're going to cover all of this in 3 days. I'm cutting out all the fluff. We're getting right to the point so you get clear action steps and you know exactly what to do in order to get results. There'll be $15,000 of prizes we're giving away, and it's the most fun people have online all year. Thousands and thousands of people have had incredible results and have just had their energy lifted and been fired up and motivated in a way to get into action. You don't need any more information. You need implementation. You need the mojo to do the thing, to show up, to be seen, to shine, to go for it so that you can call in that cash. Swipe up. The link and the details and the dates and all of that are in the show notes, or you can go to projectmewithtiffany.com/makebank. True story. I almost didn't do it. After 10 years of me resisting starting Project Me with Tiffany Carter, the podcast and business coaching brand, I finally said fuck it and hired a web designer, a brand photographer, a podcast producer, major rip off the Band-Aid moment. And within 6 months, I had a podcast with a 5-figure incredible sponsor, was speaking on stages to thousands of people, and even snagged a guest expert TV spot. But most importantly, I felt more fulfilled and free than ever in my life. And it's crazy that I spent 10 years in pure fear resistance, worrying about what will my corporate clients think? People are going to think I'm being narcissistic, having a personal brand. It's all about me. Look at me, more of me, pictures of me talking, learn from me. Then I went down the path of maybe I'm too fat to do this or not pretty enough because all the people I saw online were just like these cookie cutter people with this long flowing blonde hair and perfect bodies and wearing bikinis. And I was like, that is just not my thing. And then I thought, oh my God, the people who I know will think I'm cheesy and talk crap about me because they know me as this high-end corporate business consultant, someone who works in mergers and acquisitions, works with these multi-billion-dollar brands, these really conservative companies, these pharmaceutical medical companies. And now I'm over here throwing F-bombs on a podcast and sharing personal stories and crying. I mean, none of these people are going to want to hire me again. I'm probably going to lose all this money. And I know you're relating, hearing about this, because this is why I've made this part 2 of Deconstructing Your Biggest Money Fears. Because this is one of the biggest fears of why I see people not start a business, but I would say it's the number one reason why people's businesses do not grow. And when they come to me, they're finally like, oh my God, I need help. I'm in my own way. I don't know how to get out of my own way. I know what I'm capable of. I believe in my skill set. I believe in my knowledge. I believe in my integrity and that like people should hire me and that I can get people results, but something's blocking me. And what is blocking you is that fear of what are they gonna think when people see me continuing to climb, continuing to show up on a bigger level, being more vulnerable, being more authentic. And what I notice happens is people show up, and I did it too, with a costume. And it's not like you're necessarily being fake, but you're being this like polished up version of yourself, this PC version of yourself, not the you who's like having a glass of wine with a friend, or the you like shooting your shit with your sister on FaceTime while doing laundry. You're showing up as this like job interview, or as I call it, newscaster Tiffany version, because that feels safer. Because at least if people then talk shit about you, it's not like the real, true 100%. You have a veil over yourself of protection. But the problem is that does not build that no trust factor when you're doing digital marketing, especially when you're doing stuff online or doing stuff from stage. Even in your personal life, it doesn't work. People can sense. I know you can sense when you meet people at an event, you meet someone at Target, when you listen to someone on a podcast, when you see someone's TikTok, their reel, YouTube, guaranteed within seconds, you can tell if that person has depth and they're being real and they're being warm, and you feel those multiple layers of them versus the surface talk. And that's what makes you either lean in or lean out. Who needs more of that surface talk? But the thing is so few people are willing to do that, because that's being seen on a much bigger level. And if we get criticized then for showing up as the awkward, silly, weird, swearing, God talking, spiritual talking version of ourselves, we don't want people to think like we're annoying or weird or crazy or whatever the fuck. Well, who are these people? Usually when we pull this back, and I do this with my private clients and in my mastermind, it's like we pull it back and I'm like, let's talk about this. Who are these people? When you keep saying people are going to think I'm cheesy, talk crap about me, who are the people? The people are usually like 1 to 3 people. It's like some bitch you went to high school with, a coworker, an old boss, someone in your family. It's really not some large group of people. So you're going to hold back from sharing your gifts, helping people at a bigger level, making yourself feel happy and fulfilled and excited, and doing something that really brings you to life because you're sharing your creativity, you're sharing your gifts, you're using the things that were implanted by God, by the universe. You're going to hold all that back for a few people who typically are not the ones who are paying your bills. And even if they are paying your bills right now, you don't know how long that's going to last. I mean, all the time and energy I wasted worrying about on what other people think could have been spent taking action on my dream life and helping people who need my expertise. We're already in mid-February. Look at how fast time goes by. It's insane. That you can see how it went from me having the idea of doing this show And it went from 6 months to 3 years to 5 years to 8 years to 10 years. It's insane how fast time goes, and we can't get it back. I don't care how rich you are, talented you are, connected you are. We can get money back. And that's what blows my mind. And I blow my own mind with some of this bullshit too, where I'm like, okay, I need to invest. I know I need to invest in like getting help with this in my business. And I need to hire someone who can come in person to my house. And we have those kinds of activities. But do I really want to add another person to my team right now? That's going to be another person I'm responsible for. That's more overhead, blah, 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 blah. And I do that whole thing. It's like, wait a second. What would the version of me do, the abundant version of me do, who doesn't give a fuck about what other people think, if they think I'm being practical, if they think I'm being impractical, if they think I'm being responsible, if they think I'm being irresponsible, if they think this sounds crazy or shady or weird? What does it matter? What matters is what I think. This is why it blows my mind when people apply for my things. And I'm not trying to criticize you if you're listening and you've done this. I'm saying this to also wake you up. You've applied either for my new Abundance League, which we're taking 8 people. That's where you get private and semi-private coaching from me. And then I also have 2 spots left for my winter applications for 100% private coaching with me. All of that is in the show notes. But it amazes me, and I don't hear it that often because I know how to weed people out who are just coming to me with excuses. When people say, I have to check with my husband. Now, I understand out of respect, you sharing what you're going to do with your partner. I understand you have your own agreements. But what if your partner says no? So you've come to me because you know you want to do the thing. You know you want to make more money. You know you want to make this happen. You want to stop toe dipping in your business. You know you want to be in the ZFG zone. And so now you are waiting to see if your husband or your partner says it's okay for you to do it. You know, it troubles me. Would you go to a bank and get a business loan and ask their permission to open a bagel shop or start a jewelry business? No, you would go in there and apply and you would sell them on it. You would say very clearly, this is what I'm going to do with the money. This is why I need the money. Would you go on Shark Tank and be like, well, I have to if Mark Cuban's like, well, I'm interested in investing, but only if you're going to let go of your in-person marketing strategy or your desire to be in brick and mortar stores. As long as we can have this where it's only an online business because we can make a lot more money, then we have a deal. And you have that opportunity in front of you and you're like, you know what? Hold on a second. I need to go ask my partner and see if that's okay with my partner. Unless your partner is in on this business deal with you and it's their baby too, but this is your life. And it's your job to present the facts in a very clear manner and state, listen, this is important to me. This is what I want. This is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. And I really, really want your support here. It's really important to me. And if that person's not going to give you the support, even if you're fucking married to them, well, then you need to go and get it somewhere else. You need to do PayPal credit. You need to go get a small business loan. There's a reason why those exist. You need to open a separate credit card. If it's that important to you, if you want what you say you want, don't put your power in someone else's hands. Whether it's a family member, whether it's a business partner, whether it's an employee, whether it's a sibling, whether it's a friend. Stop worrying about other people understanding you. Instead, get in touch with yourself. Focus on what makes you happy, what makes your soul feel at peace, what delights you. You are your biggest commitment. So start loving your flaws, your awkwardness, your weirdness, your intensity, your vulnerability, your emotions, your multi-passionate wildness, your everything. Life becomes so much more fulfilling when you are just simply yourself. The world keeps spinning whether people understand you, support you, validate you or not. So why not make this next trip around the sun? Why not make this year right now? Why not make it about you and not about them? And you'll see what happens. I understand. I used to give too many fucks. That's why it's a key part of my brand of zero fucks given. Zero fucks given. Because I used to give too many. And what did that get me? It got me burnt out, resentful, exhausted. I felt numb. I was on the hamster wheel of life, and it left me going, isn't there more here? There's got to be more here. What am I missing here? And I didn't even see it. And it's part of my job to not only kind of wake you up and kind of shock you out of this fog that you're in. And by the way, FOG's a great acronym for fear, obligation, and guilt. That's what happens. We get in this like self-imposed fog. And if we have any toxic people around us, then they can start fogging us. And then you're not thinking clearly. My job is to wake you up and then guide you and show you the way. This is here for you. This is just as possible for you as it was for me. There just wasn't someone like me that I could hear and resonate with all those years that I was wanting to do something and holding myself back. And if there was, I absolutely would have gone for it much sooner. I would have found the way. I would have handed over my money. I would have been like, please help me, guide me, show me the way, because I've got to do this thing. And yeah, you might fall on your ass. There are no guarantees in life. You can go get married and have 400 people at your wedding, and the divorce rate, what is it like? It's at least 50%. In some states, I think California is like 70%. So that's embarrassing. But that's not all on you. At least you fucking tried. At least you fucking did something that they didn't. At least you went for it. At least you were vulnerable. At least you followed your dreams. At least you pursued your passion. At least you're using your gifts. At least you were a heart-based entrepreneur who wanted to go for it to make the world a better place, to make yourself happier, make yourself fulfilled, show the people in your life, your kids, your family, strangers, that you can do it. Maybe you're the only person in your family that's done it. Maybe very few people in your community that have done it. Yeah, not everything I touch turns to gold either, but you keep going. You don't need a bunch of things to turn to gold. You need one or two things to turn to gold. Look at all these incredible music artists, painters, actors, even clothing designers. They have tons and tons and tons of things that don't work, that don't really sell well, but then they have a few things that sell it out of the park, and that's what they're there for. It gets you closer to the thing. So all these people who want to have some kind of an opinion, if any of these people, in fact, are talking about you, which newsflash, they usually aren't, and if they are, what does that say about them? How shitty and unsupportive. How many people thought I was nuts when they found out I had a podcast? I purposely didn't tell almost anybody because no one I knew had a podcast or was doing this thing, and I didn't want to hear it. And it's none of their business. You don't have to fucking tell anyone. But people thought I was crazy when I left my 6-figure corporate job, because in the corporate world, you get to 6 figures and oh my God, it's the holy grail. Meanwhile, they could go through a reorganization and you could be fired that same week. And all you can leave with is your unused PTO and maybe some stock if you're fortunate enough to have that. They thought I was nuts. I still have people, even though podcasts have evolved so much, and there are these people like Joe Rogan with these major mega podcasts. Even though famous people we love have podcasts, I still have people going, well, you can't possibly make money from podcasting. Like, they still look at it kind of similar to a lot what people say about blogging or vlogging or social media. Well, you can't make any real money doing that. Why don't you go to Google and get your facts straight? Because all they're giving you are opinions and not facts. They're crazy. There are 8-year-olds making millions and millions and millions of dollars for their family opening gifts that are sent to them, opening toys and playing with them. There's 19-year-olds making $20 million a year playing video games. I'm making well over $1 million a year as a podcaster and a content creator, working part-time. I have a completely separate business, which is a marketing and branding agency for medical professionals, health companies, health products, pharmaceutical company that I've had for many, many years now. This is part-time cash while I'm having fun and doing what I love. This is all right here for you, but not if you continue giving your power away to these quote unquote people. But since I can't go back and change things, this is now a huge part of my story and my message that I share to millions of people every single week, because I can't get those 10 years back. So now your brain could start down some other path. Oh my God, I waited this long. Why should I even start now? Now it's too late. Now it's saturated. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-dee-ba-doo. Stop letting what other people may think about you hold you back from living your most exceptional life. The only person who ends up losing here is you. One thing we can never get back is this time. Honor yourself and your precious life by fully going after the lifestyle you want, the options you want, the freedom you want, the flexibility that you want, instead of settling for what you've got. I promise you, it is worth the risk. I really do. A few great places for you to start. One, make sure you grab your seat regardless for my free live training series, 3 Days to Make Bank Online. You can swipe up, get the dates, the details, and grab your spot for that. Also, my new one-of-a-kind program. We have introductory pricing for the Abundance League. This is by application only. It's a hybrid of private coaching and semi-private coaching with me, plus an option where all of your content for 4 months is done for you. So profitable content under my supervision using my famous emotional-based sales techniques. And I do have 2 spots left working with me privately in my exclusive 2-month private business coaching program. If you want me all to yourself for 2 months, that's also by application only. And of course, you can also look at my ProjectME Posse business coaching membership, which is only $100 a month. And that's another great add-on or another great place to start if you're kind of still in that, ooh, it scares me to apply to work with you. But I got to tell you, if you're scared to apply to work with me, then you need to apply to work with me. Because the reason I make it by application only is to make sure this is a great fit for us both. If I don't feel that it's a great fit, I'll direct you to a different program of mine that I think would be a better starting point or a better area for you to get your results. It's not a good look on me if you don't get great results. I can't control if you follow through. I can't control if you self-sabotage. I can only control my side of the street. But Listen, I don't need your money that badly. Like, I'm doing just fine over here. What I want to make sure is that it's a great container for you at this time to set you up for success. And I give it to you straight. It's not some free coaching call, so don't be applying for that reason. Any of my stuff that's by application only, you need to come there going, no, I am dead set on growing my business. This is a priority to me. ZFG, I'm doing the damn thing. And let's see which program of Tiffany's would be the best for me right now to get me the best results, the clarity, the fastest moving forward motion in my business and bank account. So you can swipe up and do that. Leave me a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It takes you literally 2 seconds. And you can then give some extra love by leaving a written review on Apple. If you put your name or Instagram handle in the review, DM me at ProjectME with Tiffany with a screenshot of the review. I will treat you to a luxuriating beverage of your choice to enjoy in pure fucking silence in your car. Let me tell you, I spent an hour and a half last week sitting in my car with the garage open, the car was off, just sitting in the car, having a nice beverage, non-alcoholic beverage, of course. There's something about being in the car in silence. It was like a safety container. And I have to tell you, it really decompressed me. It my parasympathetic nervous system was ignited. It was like I was in like a safe, cozy, nice, peaceful chamber. And the only person that was inside the house was Chubbs. That was it. I highly recommend this. And I really like the garage thing because it was even better than a parking lot because I didn't have to like worry about any excess like exterior stimulation. But if going in the garage isn't going to work for you because your kids or your partner is going to come out and wondering what the hell you're doing, yeah, go find a parking spot somewhere that's parked away from people or at a park and have a nice moment with yourself. Seriously, it really is delightful, and sit in pure silence. You're going to get so much clarity from just doing that. And remember, when we care so much about what other people think, what we're actually doing is devaluing our own needs, our own priorities, our own desires, our own life force. We're giving all of our power away instead of holding and standing in the power for ourselves. And commit today to no longer doing that. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.